As I've always said, credit card roadmaps are, in my opinion, the foundation of success in the credit card game. Yes, you could just apply for any card you want at any time, but without a solid plan, you're likely going to run into trouble pretty quickly. That's exactly why I film videos like this. I want to help you build a credit card roadmap that maximizes your rewards, keeps you out of trouble, and gets you automatically approved for every credit card that you apply for, like I've done with my 20 card applications so far. With that being said, let's start by looking back at my roadmap from December of last year to just see how things have progressed so far. The first card on that roadmap was the first card that I applied for in 2025, that being the Southwest Priority Credit Card. The goal with that one was, alongside the Southwest Performance Business Card, to lock in the Southwest Companion Pass for 2025 and 2026, while also getting 130,000 plus Southwest miles for hitting the welcome offers on both of those cards. Fortunately, I was approved for that card and everything is all set on the Southwest side of things, even with all of the changes that they're making to their program right now. And even with those changes, everything should be staying the same for me with Southwest. The Companion Pass seems to be still extremely valuable. And since I do hold a Southwest card, I still get the free checked bag policy that they had before. So again, everything is all good in the Southwest camp for me, at least right now. After that, I planned on going for the Amex Business Platinum, which may surprise some of y'all, but I had good reason for it. And I covered the full story with this card in my video, The Sad State of American Express in 2025. But here's the quick rundown. I wanted to get this card because it had such a high $20,000 minimum spending requirement on it, and I could easily hit that with my business tax payments for 2024 and estimated quarterly taxes for 2025. However, as usual, I was stuck in Amex pop-up jail, and while I could have gone for a non-elevated offer to try to get around that, I have a really hard time doing that because of their once-in-a-lifetime welcome offer rule. So another route that I considered going to get that card was to actually upgrade my Amex Business Gold to the Business Platinum. But when I called Amex, the upgrade offer that I had seen in my account like 2 weeks before calling was apparently completely gone now. And to make matters worse, they didn't even have any retention offers for my Amex Business Gold card. Regardless, I still did decide to just keep that open like we talked about in last week's video. But it just goes to show how strict Amex is becoming with us credit card gamers. Basically, though, the Amex Business Platinum card didn't work out, so I had to pivot pretty quickly to find a way to recoup some value from all of that business tax spend I had to do. And that's when I decided to push back the other cards on my December roadmap, those being the Hyatt Business and Hyatt Personal cards. And instead, I tried to apply for 3 credit cards in one day, the Alaska Business, Hawaiian Business, and Chase Ink Premier cards. I documented that whole journey in a separate video recently as well. So spoiler alert here, maybe go watch that one first before you hear me say this. I was able to get approved for all 3 of those cards, which is a massive win. That kept my perfect approval streak intact and also locked in $3,937 worth of value, which was a bit shy of the $4,430 I hoped to get with my Amex Platinum card. But either way, you really can't complain about, 3 new cards with 3 great welcome offers on them. Thanks to my credit report freezing and thawing strategy for that process as well, I was able to keep my Experian report pretty clean with only 1 hard inquiry being added to it. And that's important to me because Chase pulls Experian and they're the ones that consistently give me new welcome offers. So that set me up perfectly to be able to make this new roadmap video and include some of those cards on it, if that makes sense. At this point, those remaining cards from my initial 2025 credit card roadmap need to be reanalyzed with those last minute changes I made. And of course, that's exactly what we're doing here today. Diving into the spreadsheet now, first of all, note that I do have a link in the description of all of my roadmap videos, giving you access to this free guide as well. And this is like a light version of the spreadsheet I use for the one-on-one calls that you can book with me if you're interested. And I'm also actually working on building out a much more beefed up version of this that will be releasing hopefully within the summer. And if you want to get on the wait list for that one, either download the free spreadsheet and you'll get added to it, or you can just join using one of the top links in my description while also getting access to free weekly insights that I provide after all of my videos get uploaded, as well as some limited time offers that I don't always talk about on the YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and just dive straight into the cards on radar section and reveal each card one by one, explaining why I want to go for those specifically and why the timing of those applications is so important. My main focus right now is to minimize the amount of hard inquiries I get, specifically on my Experian report, and only go for business credit cards to continue gardening my Chase 524 status, at least until October of this year when I have another card fall off of that. I'm currently sitting at 424 with Chase, which is like the perfect place to be in my opinion, because I still have access to get Chase business cards if I want to. Because remember that Chase business cards do not add to your 524 account if you're approved for them, but you do need to be under 524 to get approved. And like I said a second ago, Chase is really the only lender that keeps on giving me welcome offers despite already having, I think, 10 cards with them at this point. So that's why I covet that 524 status so heavily. Now, getting approved for said business cards is one thing, but ensuring that you hit the minimum spending requirement to get the welcome offer on those cards is much more important. And a lot of times, credit card lenders don't give you a good way to track that. I wonder why. But that's where my credit card management app of choice comes into play, that of course being Max Rewards. And one of my favorite perks about Max Rewards is what I just alluded to, their welcome offer trackers as well as their retention offer trackers, which really help me plan out my spend accordingly to ensure that I will hit those minimum spending requirements. Because if not, you're just wasting a card application, at least in my eyes. While Max Rewards offers much more than this on just the free part of their app, they also do have a paid tier called Max Rewards Gold that I've paid for 2 years. And that not only helps me automatically activate my rotating categories on cards like the Chase Freedom Flex, but also automatically activates all of the offers on my cards, which has helped me save more than $100 without me having to lift a finger. They also have other gold features like the benefits tracker that tells you exactly what benefits you have on each of your cards and whether or not you're using them. And if you filter out each card one by one, you can understand whether or not you should be keeping, canceling, or product changing that card product. That's definitely something I'll be using for any of these cards on my roadmap that I get approved for. But even if you're just somebody that wants to try out the free features of Max Rewards, please be sure to download it through the link in my description. And during the sign up process, if you enter the promo code Spencer, you'll get a 1-month discount off of your annual Max Rewards Gold subscription if you ever do decide to upgrade. As always, thank you so much to Max Rewards for sponsoring the channel. And also thank you to you guys for using my links whenever I have them, because that's what allows me to do more videos just like this. With that being said, let's get back into the content. The first card on my updated roadmap is actually going to be carried over from the last one, and it is the Hyatt Business Card. I've talked somewhat negatively about this card before, but just like the high annual fee Amex cards that y'all hear me hate on here and there, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to apply for it, especially if it has a good welcome offer attached. This card has 2 key perks that offset its $199 annual fee. The first of which being the Discoverist status it provides for you and up to 5 employees. And the second one is up to $100 in Hyatt credits each year, split into 2 $50 statement credits. Sadly, the business version doesn't come with a free night like the personal version does, but considering I really am only looking at this card for the welcome offer, I don't care much about that. But to be fair, like the Amex Business Gold card, this one could maybe surprise me and I end up wanting to keep it for past the first year, but we'll just cross that bridge when we get there. Speaking of the welcome offer, the base is 60,000 points after spending $5,000 in the first 3 months, which comes out to a $1,020 valuation at the Point Guys points valuation of 1.7 for Hyatt, which gives you a 20.4% return on spend. Obviously not bad at all. But at the time of recording, there is an elevated offer on it, which includes the same base 60,000 points, but also gives you Explorer status through February 28th of 2026. It does require $7,000 worth of spend compared to the base $5,000, but it actually lines up perfectly with a couple of big expenses I have coming up, one of which being another quarterly estimated tax payment for 2025, as well as an all-inclusive resort in Cancun that I'm booking for my stepbrother's wedding. The elevated offer ends on June 30th. My quarterly estimated tax payments are due on June 15th. So again, perfect timing all around. I definitely don't need Explorer status, and I would say it's very marginally better than Discoverist that already comes for free on the card. But since I already have to spend this money, I might as well just get it because I can. Also, I just booked a really nice trip to Italy for my girlfriend and I later this year, which I will eventually make a full video about. But we're staying at a couple of Hyatts during our vacation, and I just kind of want to see how the status is honored abroad. According to NerdWallet, Explorer status is worth about $425, and here's what that gets you. 20% bonus points on eligible purchases, free premium internet, complimentary bottled water, room upgrades, not including suites or club access, American Airlines point redemption options, and guaranteed room availability with 72 hours notice. To me, this list is just okay, and I think the biggest difference between it and Discoverist status is the fact that the room upgrades hopefully are a bit more consistent and better, but obviously I'll get to speak on that from personal experience if I do get approved for this card. If you include the $425 worth of Explorist value, the elevated offer is worth $1,445, bringing your return on spend for the elevated offer up to 20.6%. I'd probably value Explorist a lot lower than that, so my real effective return on spend may be more like 15%, but that still beats any of my other cards for these big purchases that I have coming up. I will say I'm definitely not 100% confident I'm going to get approved for this card with how many cards I already have from Chase and the total available credit that they've already allotted to me. But if that's the reason that I get denied, I'm hoping I can just reallocate some of the credit limits from my other Chase cards to this one to allow me to open it. The next two cards are completely new to my roadmap, and I would imagine that they are going to shock some of y'all, but give me a chance to explain why they're here. First up, a few months after applying for the Hyatt Business card, I would like to go ahead and apply for the Aviator Red card from Barclays. For some of you, this might not seem like it's coming out of left field at all because you kind of know what's going on behind the scenes here. Earlier this year, we found out that Citi is becoming the exclusive partner of American Airlines credit cards in 2026, which means that the Aviator Red card from Barclays is going to be discontinued. We're not 100% sure if the Aviator Red cards in existence will be closed or if they more likely will get transitioned to one of Citi's card products instead. But either way, we know it's only going to be around for a few more months. Most of you know that I fly Southwest domestically, and that's exactly why I locked in the Companion Pass for 2025 and 2026. But American is still my second most used airline, and their points currency is the most valuable out of the domestic currencies. Their points are also really hard to come by since you can't directly transfer from any partner to them at this point. Maybe eventually we will be able to with Citi, but you can't do that right now. Plus, they're a part of the One World Alliance, which means that not only can you get that good value from the domestic flights with American directly, but you can also book flights with their partner airlines in the One World Alliance. And for international, higher class redemptions, your cent per point value can shoot through the roof. So even though I don't have an immediate need for American Airlines miles right now, I would really hate to miss out on 60 to 75,000 American Airlines miles by not going for this card before it expires. And talking about that welcome offer, it is actually pretty wild. There is no real minimum spending requirement associated with it at all. You just have to make one purchase and you get all those points. That means you could literally buy a pack of gum from the gas station and earn 75,000 American Airlines miles. That's insane. That'd be worth about $1,275 according to the Points Guy's valuations, and potentially a lot more if you utilize those One World partners like I mentioned. In terms of timing, I've slotted this card for a September application date since I'll still be sitting at 424, which keeps me under the Barclays 624 rule, which is very similar to Chase, but just, one more allowance there for you. And the reason I'm okay with pushing myself up to 524 in September is because I have another card falling off of my 524 status in October, which means I'll only miss out on any Chase card opportunities for a month, and that's completely fine with me. Long term, I really can't say what's going to happen with this one since we don't know what Citi is going to do with it. But in the short term, I'll take advantage of the welcome offer, the free check bags if I need it, although I've never checked a bag before, and that includes me taking like almost a 2-week trip to Croatia, the $25 in-flight Wi-Fi credit, and preferred boarding. Honestly, I just really don't feel like I need to justify the annual fee here at all though, because I'm basically just paying $99 to potentially get 60 to 75,000 American Airlines miles, and that's a complete no-brainer. That said, I am still pretty nervous about my approval odds for this one as well. Not only because my total number of cards is just getting so high at this point, but also because I recently applied for the Hawaiian Business card, which is also assigned by Barclays, and I haven't used that card at all aside from hitting the minimum spending requirement on it. Plus, on that same day I got the Hawaiian Business card, I applied for the Alaska Business card, and both of those pulled from TransUnion, which added 2 inquiries to my report just a few months before applying for the Aviator Red. They also asked for additional information with my Hawaiian Business card application, but that was more just to confirm my identity and stuff. And that was a business card. The Aviator Red is a personal card, so I'm hoping I can kind of just get around that this time. But I guess we'll have to just wait and see. To pair with that Aviator Red card, I am also planning on applying for the Citi AAdvantage Platinum Select World Elite MasterCard, aka he who must not be named because that card name is actually insane. And I know what you're probably thinking here. Wait, isn't this another personal card? Didn't you just get through telling us about protecting your 524 status? And don't worry, I've thought a lot about this, and here's my logic. Starting with the timing of it, at first I was kind of wondering if maybe I should go for these 2 cards on the same day, the Aviator Red and the AAdvantage Platinum Select, mainly because that Aviator Red card has no minimum spending requirement associated with it. But if I did that, I'd be pushed up to 624 in September. Yes, I would have another card falling off in October, but I would still be at 524 all the way until February of 2026. The biggest risk in doing that is that I miss out on any elevated Chase Inc. card offers, which we normally see come around at the end of the year. And there's also a smaller chance that Chase could release a new credit card that maybe I really want to get. I'm looking at that luxury Hyatt card, maybe. So instead of going for both of the AA cards on the same day, I think I'd space them out by about 3 months and get the Platinum Select card in December. But that still doesn't answer the question of why I wouldn't get the business version instead, since it offers the same benefits, it wouldn't add to my 524 count, and that's kind of like what I've been doing for the last few years anyways. Actually, before I say why, I'd like to hear y'all's guesses in the comments below, so feel free to pause and do that if you want to. Now, here's the issue with that. if that Barclays Aviator Red card is force converted to a Citi AAdvantage Platinum Select card, based on Citi's offer terms, I'm at least pretty positive that I would be locked out of the welcome offer on the Platinum Select card for 48 months. The offer terms say that a new account bonus is not available if you have received a new account bonus for a Citi AAdvantage Platinum Select account in the past 48 months, which doesn't apply to me, or if you converted another Citi credit card account on which you earned a new account bonus in the last 48 months into a Citi AAdvantage Platinum Select account. So we know that converted cards do impact your welcome offer eligibility, but the question is, how will Citi treat a converted card from a different lender? We don't know that yet, so at this point, I'm just not going to risk it. My 524 status allows me to add another card to it in the later parts of this year, so I'd rather just ensure I get that personal card offer and then leave the business card option open for later. If y'all hear anything different about this, please let me know, because that could allow me to bring in some cards from my reserve list that we'll talk about later, instead of going for a second personal card at the end of this year. But as for the AAdvantage Platinum Select card itself, it overlaps pretty heavily with the Aviator Red card, specifically as it comes to the first checked bag being free and the preferred boarding. But it also gives you a couple of unique things like 25% back on in-flight purchases and a $125 flight discount after $20,000 in spend. Both of those last two are not going to be ones I touch personally, but figured I might as well list them for you. And at the end of the day, all I really care about, again, with this card is going to be that welcome offer and making sure I don't accidentally lock myself out of it. The Platinum Select also waives its annual fee in the first year, which the Aviator Red card doesn't. So by getting both of those, I'd be paying $99 to lock in upwards of 150,000 American Airlines miles. And yeah, to me, that's just something you can't pass up. With those three cards on my primary roadmap, let's take a look at the honorable mentions. These could very likely make an appearance this year, depending on whether or not I get approved for the cards I just mentioned, or if there are some better elevated offers out there at the time of me wanting to go for a different one. First is the Marriott Bonvoy Business. The earliest I can consider this card is September 5th because I have to wait 24 months after I applied for the Marriott Boundless card. And that's just because we have to basically make Chase and Amex play nicely together since they both offer Marriott cards. But the really unique thing about the Bonvoy Business card is that I wouldn't get a hard pull for it since I'm an existing Amex customer, and it wouldn't add to my 524 count because it's a business card. So it would be a complete ghost card to my personal credit report, and that's a great way to help me continue guarding that 524 status. And it also has a fairly low $125 annual fee, but gives me an additional 35,000 point free night certificate that would pair really well with my Boundless card. That free night is worth about $245 at a 0.7 cent per point valuation, so that would cover the annual fee on it alone. But it also gives you Marriott Gold status, which I don't have on any other card right now, 15 qualifying nights towards elite status, and more, so it's pretty easy to recoup value from. Next on my reserve list are the Chase Ink cards. If you haven't been able to tell yet, in my spreadsheet, I always list the highest public welcome offers we've seen in recent past. That way I can just reference whether or not I'm getting a good deal at the time of me applying. And if I am getting screwed over on one of these deals, then I'll likely look to add something like the Chase Ink card that I know is going to give me a very solid base. The Chase Ink Cash is the one that I'd prefer to get next, since it's the only Chase Ink card in my setup right now that I don't have under my LLC. I have one under my sole proprietorship and my social security number, but not under my LLC. But I'm pretty impartial to what direction I go in here, so kind of just depends on how I feel at the time. Other than those, I also keep a little list off to the side of my spreadsheet that are just reminding me of setups that I want to eventually complete. And at the top of that list right now are the Wells Fargo Signify and US Bank Triple Cash cards that would help me get exposure to a couple of new ecosystems. I'm actually in the process of getting the welcome offer on the Wells Fargo Business checking account, which will hopefully give me enough history with them when I'm ready to go for the Signify card to get approved for it, no problem. And the US Bank Triple Cash card probably feels pretty random, but I've always wanted to get a relationship with them at some point so I could at least get the welcome offers on their cards. And who knows, maybe since I have enough time before I'm ready to go get one of those, I could also open their business checking account or some kind of account with them to start building that relationship before going for that card too. On the personal side, the personal World of Hyatt card will always be in consideration, despite it not being a card that I really think many people need, even if you're a Hyatt fanboy like me. In reality, this card just doesn't give you a ton. Sure, it gives you a free category 1 through 4 free night certificate, but that's really worth only up to 18,000 points. So you could effectively earn 5 times the amount of nights by just getting a Chase Ink card instead, and also not have to pay an annual fee if you get the Chase Ink Cash or Unlimited. So that's just more reason to go that route. But still, getting a free night never hurt anybody. So if I ever see my 524 status getting pretty low and I'm ready to pick up another card, I know that I will eventually use the points from the welcome offer on the personal World of Hyatt card. But like I mentioned earlier, I still just really have my fingers crossed for a luxury Hyatt card in the near future. But I mean, we've been waiting years for that one. So I just, can't be holding my breath. Now, look, applying for new credit cards is super fun, but that's only one side of the equation, because once you have them, you have to constantly reanalyze them to understand whether or not they make sense for you going forward. And I shared my highly analytical keep or cancel decision-making process for the Citi Strata Premier and Amex Business Gold cards in this video that you can check out next. And as always, Odin and I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.